It's day 15 of the 28-day challenge, and today's topic is change your mindset and you will change your mind. Change has to come from within. If you're trying to change for somebody else, or you're trying to change to fit into some mold, you won't really change. You'll be your true self in the shadows when you're alone, but when you're around everybody else, you'll be implementing this faux change, but you're not really changing. I remember, I think it was Charlotte said in Sex and the City, I won't be a meat-eating vegetarian. And that's true. It's like the other day, my partner said, I said, wow, I'm like, it's so weird to think like I've been a vegetarian now, coming in a few weeks because my pancreatitis and all this happened a few years ago. Talk about change. I had to change or else I was going to fucking die. You don't want to get to that point. We'll talk about that later. But no, he said, well, have you had fish? And I had to think for a second because I'm like, I cook for myself like most of the time, and I don't go out to eat very often. So I was like, yeah, I'm like, I don't think I've. And then I go, oh no, I'm like, I had sushi with Marcy when I was in Portland. I'm like, no, I have had fish. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I had tuna. I'm like, and I prayed over it, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I have had a little fish here, and a little. And so it got me thinking because, you know, here's this huge change that I made, and I don't want to be a meat eating vegetarian. I don't want to say, that's why I say I'm kind of vegan because I do eat some goat cheese here and there. So I don't eat eggs. But anyway, I digress. So change has to be a mindset. You have to make a commitment to actually changing. It's like when people go on these diets, these fad diets never fucking work because it's you're doing it for like let's say you're trying to get into, a bathing suit or something, you're going on vacation, and so you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z up until this point, and then I will lose this much, amount of weight. And then you think you're going to stay on it because you feel good, you look good, but then all of a sudden the food starts to taste good, everything starts to taste good. You're just like, ah. So it has to be a life change. Even for myself, like I have been able to eat carbs again in the last like 8 to 9 months, on regularly, and I've been able to eat oils again, and certain foods I've been able to eat again. Well, I mean, I may not be eating, animal fats, or I may not be eating, certain foods or drinking anymore, or having lots of sugar, but carbs turn to sugar, and I was starting to get like kind of heavy again, and it was weird, and like my whole fucking mind started to get like really whacked out because last year when I was down to, 90 pounds, I was so freaked out by my own appearance that I remember crying on the bathroom floor of my friend's house and just begging. I was like, please, if I'm going to die, like just take me now. Like I was home and I was like, okay, I'm back in, Chicagoland area with my family and friends where I grew up. And I was like, okay, is this where I'm going to die? I mean, I really genuinely thought I was going to die. Everybody around me thought I was going to die. And here I was begging. And I remember thinking, at that moment, how I would be a size 16 in a heartbeat again if it, number one, meant I was going to live, and number two, that I would feel beautiful and voluptuous again. I mean, my like literally my boobs were like little skin flaps hanging off. I couldn't even imagine that my body would ever look like that. Especially because now I've been a size 0 to a size 22. So I have really run the gamut. Like I have seen it all. I was looking at my stomach yesterday and I was like, man, I look like I've had like 10 kids, and I have had none. But it's because I've gained and lost and gained and lost and gained and lost over 46 years, right? So anyway, with that being said, here I was a few months ago and I was really beating myself up again because I'm like, God, I'm getting fat. God, I'm getting fat. And I was getting mad at myself. And I keep going back and forth. And it's interesting because my higher self will like laugh and I'll be like, this is ridiculous. Like you are getting way too hung up in the human shit. And then like my human side was like, yeah, but this is real. These are painful scars. Like, my weight was an issue my entire fucking life. And when you hear your whole life, you'd be so pretty if you lost weight, or you'd be so pretty, but if all these, but it was always if my weight, if I lost more weight, if I, so my weight was like a huge part of the way I look. Even now, like I had a hard time with this video today because this camera is so good and I still haven't figured out how to do it yet. And anyway, I've just been having, and the bruise is still there. So, and I don't want to have to put on a whole full face of makeup for this. It's just ridiculous for me anyway. So change, I've been through so many changes. I've been through so many changes, baby. I forget the name of that song. But it's true. I mean, I can literally go through every single facet of my life and tell you without a doubt that it has changed 100%. And there are days where it's really hard for me to even be present. Thank you, Black Tourmaline. There are days for me it's hard for me to be present because I'm so connected with the other side and I'm so connected with my higher self that it's really hard to live in this human world, in this human condition, even though it's fun. It's that thing, like, I love it when it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I love being here and I love playing here when it's awesome. But when it's not, when I'm having a rough time, and I know with every fiber of my being how much easier it is for me when I'm not in human form, those are the hardest days for me. Remember when I was coming into my gifts really strongly and I said something really arrogant like, I know everything. And my beautiful sister Holly Ma was like, you know everything? Like, she was kind of like putting me in my place. And I remember being really pissed at her, like, fuck off, dude. Like, you know what I'm trying to say. But no, she made me think about it. And then I was grateful. Thanks, Holly. It's like, it makes you have to like think about it. It's like, just because I was coming back into my own, it's like I was letting my arrogance, take over my soul knowledge. And so our ego's tied into that changing factor, right? Because we want to hold on to this image of who we are. Or like when we're younger, we're like, I'm going to be this when I get older, or I'm going to be that, or someday I'm going to be this. And so we put this thing up there and we're like, that's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to do. And then when it doesn't happen, what happens? We think we're a failure. We're less than. We're inferior to our own higher image of ourselves. We just can't seem to get there. Well, shit, that stuff takes time, It's like, it doesn't happen overnight. It's like we really, really have to concentrate on the fact that it takes time, day by day. This whole 28-day challenge is exactly how it's doing for me. You're getting to see me every day how I really am. And I have to tell you this, I have to confess that ever since I got my new phone and my new number, I haven't given it to anyone but Ed. And I was about to start going through like my phone book, and I was like, you know what? I just know too many people. I have so many friends. I am extremely blessed when I say this. This isn't with, arrogance. This is with beautiful soul knowledge. I am beyond blessed that I have so many friends and family on this planet that love me. And I don't want to say, oh, this person gets this number or exclude that person. So what I decided is that I'm not going to have my phone on, my other one, my main phone, because I will check it in the morning and then afternoon and at night. Because for me to truly change, for me to really become the shaman that I was brought here to be, to help work with you and myself, for me to put myself out there and expose myself every single day. I remember watching these reality shows and I was like, I don't think I could do that. I'm like, I wouldn't want people seeing all my shit every day. But I feel like this has become like my reality show in a weird fucking way. Even though I'm here to serve, I'm also going through my own stuff, right? So I realized, I'm like, I don't need my phone. I just needed access for me to do my show, to take my pictures, to do research on the internet, to write my book. And that's what this new phone is for, this beautiful Galaxy Note 8. I got a really good deal on this phone. And so, we have to set boundaries when we change. And for me to truly change and be the leader that I am supposed to be, that I am, but that I need to really work on and focus on every day, is just being myself. Because being myself is being a natural leader. But what happens is when I look at my phone too much, where people have access to me it throws me out, because I'm an empath and I'm an intuitive. So if I read a text from somebody and they're in distress, I'm automatically in distress with them. Now, I have my shields up, so I'm not like in their emotional distress, but I'm all like, oh, I'm sad they're hurting. Like, what can I do to alleviate this pain? But when it started to be on a daily basis, several times a day, many people, I was like, this is too much. And then it's hard because it becomes like Sophie's Choice, and everybody's just as important to me. There's not one person that's more important than the other person. Everybody's important to me. Everybody's emotional state is important to me. But I have to change with the times, and I don't have to be a part of it the way that society says I should. So I understand that I live in 2018. I feel grateful that I can do this. I mean, my God, if I had this access when I was younger, I probably would have already been some crazy internet sensation on YouTube because I was so crazy. I would have probably been like, I was so obsessed with myself too, especially in the 20s when I lived in LA. Oh my God. And my cute little 18% body fat, big blonde hair, red lips, tan, little, California Barbie girl. Fuck yeah. When I see these other, people that have all these sponsorships and stuff, I'm like, I would have been my own little celebrity. Probably would have been happy with that. But I'm glad, it wasn't supposed to go down that way. I had to go through all this work and do all this stuff so that I can be the person that I am today. So anyway, with that being said, change is inevitable. It's part of evolution. If we don't change, then we don't change our mindset. So it's like they kind of go hand in hand. You have to decide in your mindset like how you want to be. Write a list of the pros and cons in your life. Think about the things that you want to change or that have to change. Edward and I have had to renegotiate this whole experience. I remember I said to my landlord some months ago, I'm like, man, it's so weird. I'm like, the way, it came through to me last year when I was in Chicago, Spirit told me I was going to, be hauled off up in the woods somewhere, and I was going to have a place to write because I really, wanted to write my book. And she kind of looked at me for a second and she goes, Michelle, I wanted to show your beautiful earrings. My shaman sister, Michelle Rademacher, she made these. Did I say your name right? I'm so bad. Made these beautiful earrings for me. But anyway, yeah, I have to say, it dawned on me, like the way she looked at me and she goes, I thought this was because she's a psychic too. And she goes, I thought that this was what you were supposed to do. Like, I thought this was your space. And I was like, what? And then I realized, I'm like, I wasn't thinking of it in the right way. Edward and I weren't trying to find like a realistic way for us to live together. We were struggling with both trying to live in Big Camper. Another winter, it was like, oh my gosh, a 26 by 10 foot space for two humans and a very powerful familiar cat. That's insanity. I mean, how we got through it, I don't even know. Well, we kind of didn't, but yeah, I'm gonna have to find a way to like not obsess because I can't. There's got to be a way where I could just set up the camera and I don't see myself. And then it makes me realize, God, am I really that vain that I can't? But you know what it is? It's this camera is so good that I can see every little flaw. And as a stylist, I was a wardrobe stylist for a long time. And I mean, I was on photo shoots where like, I've had the photographer say like, that's my job or don't. And I'm like, let me just move that hair out of the way. Fucking perfection, man. Oh, we're so obsessed with being perfect. At least I was kind of raised that way. Sadly, I come by it honestly. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because now I'm just rambling and it's Saturday and I need to get outside because it's really beautiful outside today. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. And it's finally, the sun is back. So I'm going to go enjoy it. Y'all have a blessed day. I wasn't going to take comments on the bottom, but now I'm starting to realize that I need to have more interaction with you guys. So feel free to leave some comments or some topics that you'd like me to discuss. I have a list of topics. In fact, I had another topic that I wanted to talk about today, and changing the mindset came through. So this must be for somebody specifically or a few people specifically. But yeah. We are not the sum of all of our deeds. You can change it anytime. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your background. Be whatever you want to be. Let your freak flag fly, man. Look at me. The old me would have been like, oh my gosh, some people would be like, your house looks like a kid's bedroom. I don't fucking care. It makes me happy. Creature makes me happy. Rainbow makes me happy. It's like my stones and crystals make me happy. All my things around me, my feathers. I mean, I love, like, I have so much stuff, like, all around me. That makes me happy. Do what makes you happy. Change the things in your life that will make you happy, truly happy. The next day's not promised to us. My mama always tells me that. That is like her biggest thing, and it's so true. So while you're here, you might as well be happy and spread that joy and love into the world, because the happier you are, the better it is, because it raises the vibration, right? So we want to be like, hey, oh, and some days we have a rough day, and that's okay too, because that's the balance. But we still want to keep the vibration high as much as possible. Have a blessed day. I love you guys. Peace, love, and light always. Oh,